malam san이잖아. sanji na soje jonan janju barandu dame jazonje dage jinsu jibe sanamje dola benje sanje dobajo Namo Ngo Dong Ban Shi Jin Wen Ge Rai Jin Sarwa Sem Jin Dam Jin Anjaraji Dong Me Be Dewa Dawara Anjaraji Nam Nire Dan Dava Tanyon Jimbola Ne Bara Joyje Ho Ganyan Doa Malumba Sanje Salan Gebenje Zoba Jimbu Mengangi Rangri Juga Dobaraja Sa Jim Buju Zoji Mendon Dam Re Ra Lin Ji Ni De Jemban Sanje Jendo Me De Bulwa Ye Zhe Nam Da Xin Lan Zhe Bai Zhou 오면 저jenje brane dozum sanje kunje ngoni ranzum chogo ngonson donzebe savela manamla zorwa inde dorje chanjin tele naroda marba mela kambo tazaba nabo baldan paldin rubaso jibela manamje jinlo je omen jojenje brane dozum sanje kunje ngoni ranzum chogo ngonson donzebe savela manamla sowa de palden savela manambo jitagi churu pe medemjel kadin jebe konde jesonde kusung to jingado 자도 소 다조 semjentan 제지주 민징 저월 진질랍도 소 나사바 장줍초도 투제데 최선버쇼
These form the altruistic motivation of bodhicitta, and in that spirit, please listen to the teachings.
kabza baba cheja chembo yigi shibi sabji tombar chebala semji jiza cheba semji jatab temba semji korsa cheba semji lamchir temba tang yepe nane semji lamchir tembe gosba bares
So this subject matter is the profound instruction on the 4 syllables. And within severing the basic root of mind, displaying the methods of resting the mind, slicing through potential errors in the mind, and explaining how to proceed on the path of mind, we're in the 4th section, explaining how to proceed on the path of mind.
Telayang nimu nawa jayde jaydabe namjur nain nup doyun roz cherbe namjur solo bangbo jiladabe namjur namgun sheba pumburchube namjur torang rikba saldabe namjur chiga yishi sangdaldu tang namjur tang chugyo bale kabsu baba solo bangbo jiladabe namjur.
This likewise has 6 aspects: the yoga of sealing daytime appearances, the yoga of taking sensory enjoyments from at morning and evening as helpers on the path, the yoga of absorbing the faculties into the ground from dusk until midnight, the yoga of placing consciousness in the vase at midnight, the yoga of refreshing rigpa in the early morning, and the yoga of letting go into timeless awareness at the time of death. So we're in the 3rd yoga of absorbing the faculties into the ground from dusk until midnight. No?
Yeah.
Huh?
Got it? Yeah. Da sola ongbo jila de namjuru nimo namdo chulbi treba kangshala jeji tela topa tamji ye chuni jingando doa os da dena ni songdo nimo kapsula ninji ne kapsu nyamne mangcha ngaso 가르쳐 걸었잖아 남도 출바 가르샤나 되니 템바생 똑바 남도 쓰고 남도 출비 템바 강샤 들라 제지 때 따고레스 아니 다 쇠라 가르쳐 걸었잖아 똑바 탐지 이친 춘이 인강도 수 누나 야고요레 송을 데스 야와도 ninji 님 남도 출비 템바 강샤지 제지 달라 야샤 다 아니 쇠라 똑바 탐지 이 춘이 인강도 수 두스나.
So the text says, during the day, look nakedly and directly at whatever thoughts occur based on confusion and conceptual grasping. At dusk, or from dusk until midnight, absorb all conceptual thought into the ground, the continuity of the basic nature. So this teaching has sort of 2 aspects. One is what practice we do during the day, sort of until dusk, and then what practice we do from dusk until midnight. So the first one, it talks about whatever thoughts or concepts are arising. So whatever thoughts or concepts are arising, we look directly at them. This is the instruction here. And then as for from dusk till midnight, we slightly different instruction is to absorb all conceptuality back into the ground, which is the dharmata, or the essential nature.
다 니바들라 소문에게 냠는데 니바들라도 니발라 티 가시나라 아니 도무곰베기 루소에 요래
나소
솔로 도무곰스.
So it's the second sentence here, the second aspect, which is the main emphasis in this part, which is how do we practice from dusk until midnight. So in some instruction manuals, it says that's when we practice tumo. Tumo is practiced from dusk until midnight.
다 tumo 곰마시나 아니 롱범전지 송네 아니 닌진 내갑소 니민 내갑소 셰바드망 제 옹부콜라 때니 살차당 왜당 살차당 왕부 걸 때니 되게 샤샤도 되니 남도 강 샤지 고올이야 태거탄 그 랑돌 땅에디 닌닌지 레가라와 다 세면내 갑서 미기 왕불라서 샤라샤라 영사요 말아 그 나공으로 다 그래 근데 아니 워설 차르기 나때 니 워설도 저기 preparation 다오 다 닝어마디 midnight 나 징훈라 다바 가탄타야 말에 나고래 서바드 마술루 진 왕부드 강가수 나라도 아니 롱범제 지소 셰바디 데월라샤 데월네 르발랑 모셔네 마샤 송여 롱잠로시라 this is very good I do this quite a lot daytime the 왕복anga 디레데오라 the 왕복anga 수 bring back into the body gnane tewala su shepate sha longjam longji so dingangne ne rubangala nya marshana to batam ji chi chuni jinga do dos to ngomate chuni ti dire chugu kada ina style de ne jena pendo yores Hey, waiting for you.
Quite relaxed, actually.
Too relaxed. Not quite.
So, if we don't know Tumo, then we can instead just use Bumchen. And
you all know that. Really? What's breathing, you know?
It's the same.
Oh, heartbreak.
So basically, this distinction here is that during the day, there's light, and our senses are active, and they're actively engaged outwardly. So we're looking around, and we're hearing, and we're engaging with the clarity of our senses in the daytime appearances. And so then the practice we emphasize during the day is in relation to the thoughts. So whatever perceptions or appearances are happening, we look at them nakedly and allow them to self-liberate. Appearances, thoughts, and so on. That's the main practice that's emphasized during the day. And it's connected to the clarity, which then reminds us of luminosity, and so on. Then the sun goes down, and things start to get dark. And then naturally the senses are less drawn out because it's dark. We can't see much, and everything is quieting and settling into darkness. And so then, likewise, we prepare our own mind for sleep. And we prepare by drawing the senses sort of back into ourselves, back into the mind, because we can't really look around and see anything. So we're not as outwardly distracted by sensory clarity.
Because there's no light.
So we would...
Joking. Switch off the light.
So we withdraw our senses back
to the body,
into the body, and specifically under the navel.
With the jamlung or pomchen karina.
With either the gentle vase breath or regular vase breath. And then we keep our awareness down under the navel in the sense of absorbing, kind of withdrawing a little bit. And then we try to connect with Rigpa.
There. Chuni, kaingo, ing, mare, chuguk, Rigpa de gangla, never shower.
And so then it says, absorb into the ground the continuity of the basic nature. So the real ground, of course, is primordial purity. It's the Dharmakaya. But this is sort of a method or a practice to connect with that, the awareness under the navel, that's very beneficial.
다들 라마다 망고래 그래. 근데잖아. 아니 근데잖아 양 남자니 니코도래. 아니 남군 시자 범버슈빈 남주르티 제야 말하네. 고 근데잖아라 제가 바니 코도래. 때는 제가 요 말에 송도. 니코나?
나서.
니 당신은
수기 값서.
수기 값서.
나서.
So there's a Chizujunyi but go to Mara. We cannot wait for until Chizujunyi.
Ah, that's it.
Did in Yeridala, that Pelena, Gomchina de Yoro. And also the Nisan Mazu, the logical, and there's Kuna, the Cookpa, Nyashana, Kancheva Mare, somewhere. The Nambun Shija Bombership with Namdu Chematubja.
Naso.
Denita, details it on any Tangani. 시제 bomba chuba de yoyare des mikpata wa shije bomba chuba de la
so there's a lot of teachings on this, and so actually, of course, we may fall asleep before midnight. We may not make it all the way to midnight, and that's said to be okay if we're doing this practice that's described here and we doze off or fall asleep. That's fine, because we'll probably be in bed and we may well fall asleep. In Tibet, they would often be sitting in a meditation box, and so maybe it was a little different. Here we usually have a bed, so we might climb into bed with our clothes on and start this practice and then feel like lying down, and that's fine.
That's fine. Maybe we go up to morning. Maybe midnight open up. Because neck little pain. Then you have chance to do other one. And for me, if I do this for a while, I'll sleep most of the time. I do this in the bed. Pajama, everything prepared. Go to toilet, everything, because I know I will sleep soon. So wear that, and then just sit there a little bit, and go a little bit down. Let eyes, all the sense, because walk whole day, so let them rest. I'm not engaging with you, but I still have my lamp, inner lamp, with a sort of in my body, and the clarity, Rigpa, is on. Turn on in the body, but all the sense, all the brain, higher activities, all sort of settle down. This is very good actually, very relaxing. But the problem is, relax will take over. Then you dozed off. But if you cannot relax, but still alert, under the bed. Very, very good. And maybe do few pumchins. But inside lamp, Rigpa in the body. And the Rigpa is going through the whole the body. Sort of the lamp in the box. Lamp? Did I say lamp? Not the animal, yeah? Did I say same?
Oh no. Lamp and lamb.
Well, which one I said? Light? Okay, lamp. The other one?
Lamb.
Lamp. Lamp. Oh no, no. Lamp. In the box. The box is your body. And relaxing. But within the box there's a light shining. When in the daytime, you sense, go through the sense, Rigpa. And of course you connect here, but senses are open, so this is another practice. But nighttime, zoo. But slowly, because the sense body is very relaxed, boop. Understand? Daytime, Rigpa, what thoughts come, go, but still we use sensory clarity. With the Rigpa, why not? Come, go, self-liberate, and thought, strong thought come, look at that, whatever. At night time, those things are less. Sensory clarity is less. So you make sure sensory clarity rest while you are doing Rigpa practice before midnight. So, just stay there. Just slowly, dullness. Then Vipassana comes because of neck pain. Woke up, maybe 11:30. Oh, go to pee. Make sure you will not wake up in the middle. You know, after 50 years, you have to wake up more and more, no? I'm 53, I realize this year why I'm 2 times I wake up. Normally, maybe it's different. Christian, I drink a lot of water. I'm going to test that. It will continue from here, that means it's aging. I'm drinking a lot of water, it's because of water, then I'm very happy. I wake up around 2, around 4, I don't know why. Normally, never happen. So you go to restroom, come back, then do the other one with the kare. Namgung, sheja pombrashuk with namjurnes.
The yoga of consciousness entering into the vase at midnight.
Ta nyingi chiltu ngo rangi savel lama namba tilikarpo yungru samji gomla dela shepa tela ni logbe ni osaltu charos.
In your heart center, visualize a white bindu just the size of a mustard seed, which in essence is your root lama. By falling asleep with consciousness focused on that, the sleep state will dawn as clear light.
Huh? What? Repeat. You can read.
Oh.
You missed the page? Okay. Oh, okay. Read.
In your heart center, visualize a white bindu, just the size of a mustard seed, which in essence is your root lama. By falling asleep with consciousness focused on that, sleep state will dawn as clear light.
Nan that nigi namjoro dawjere. Nigi namjola nidoa milam ki kapso namjurji yang nitukji kalji kapso namjurji ni yongyore.
Lasso. So this is talking about practice for sleep, which has 2 main aspects. Working with dreams and practicing with the state of deep sleep. And dawning as clear light.
Tadiha moa kaimado ta malolo je mani tani tadina dubama sumdo yebachina ani tile karbo telatani dungi nangbana shubige rangi zawela mare choju jawasa dan jebare rangi hidamre to tham jegi kusung togi janap thamji ani tile karbo dela chenjelap jelap dege what carry message is ani ni tukte ani mongbi wangdo maro wasine ni tukte wasal chawar chenjelap to solsen ani choju jawasa dan jebata zawela mata rangi hidamla soata te thamji kusung togi janap de 이게 가지 이게 아예 요래 딜레 카보르도 딜레 카보르 팀
딜레 카보르 아니야 알라
아미도 딜레 카보르도 가시 나나 이게 아카보 요래
라소 So this is sort of a very brief description of this practice. There's not much to say, but basically there's a white bindu in the heart center, which is in essence indivisible from our root teacher, the lineage gurus, our yidam, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. It contains all the blessings of enlightened body, speech, and mind, are sort of dissolved into it, or it's been suffused by those blessings. And the purpose of it being suffused with those blessings is that the state of deep sleep will not fall into the dullness of delusion, but rather dawn as clear light. And so it has the blessings of the Yidam deity, the guru, the lineage, everything. And so in this particular practice, it just says white bindu. It's not marked with any syllable, but in certain other practices, it's marked with the syllable a.
Adila rang shebam rang rikpasre ta sheba chuna rikpaten ya bore chunji rikpa semadon den lo sheba de den ni logres.
So then that our awareness, our rigpa or our ordinary consciousness is focused on that or resting with that. Obviously, it's best if our rigpa is with that, but if that's not possible, then just our ordinary consciousness is with that bindu, and then we fall asleep in that state.
That is shuk chemata chumara shuk chena nyekutu mares shuk chuna yang nik pasalta mares tindu demlo rembuche gores.
In this practice, we should not be too tight or too loose. If we hold this too tightly, concentrate too tightly, we won't be able to fall asleep. But if we are too loose, then we won't be able to, seal it with rigpa. We won't be able to visualize it. So it should be a just right kind of quality of mind.
Ta milam dang wasal milam jangwa dang wasal jawani ke khare ani ta wasal sengdi kapkala milam sharwa ngoma shene kora thang ba timrim jiorwa chiwi timrim dang chiwa kapsula ani chiwi timrim nang shi ji nikudo ya ko ongbatam jere mere gado re nekapchila gani tene thama pena parto kapsula kan nawa cheba nyertop ani nyertop thamala je wasal yana she was share yana jaldura ti daud di chunjung chi ani ko na tum tak skala ni ma jaldu do ani mang che jalni den ni ku dorta den jawala ya langyong du ta jalwa ya langden melam yongore
Lasso.
melam yongdu tati sani parto ne kapsula sipa parto gozu yongore ani tata nganzu ngaranso mashibe kansatela ani melam gozu yongora tani ta ang dango jungna chibi ne kapsu maye wasal ngosheba nangshi tata ni tu kapsula ni tuk na tim do lamsan lang tung ya ta na tum cha dia 요용도 가이고 밀람 고축도 제바타보다 스바파르도 고축와 제와 등을량 동바시 용요서래 아니 동바치 살바치 데 아니 니오살도 샤르스는 들라라 데 닌닌의 코드요래 나 샘도 살랑아 데데요 다 갈데스바 샘도 살난 네 마톱네 요용나 밀람 고축요나 밀람 쉐버 진질랍솔 성용요
라서.
Yes.
So there's two practices associated with the sleeping time, called dream yoga and the yoga of clear light. And the way to train in these is a little bit different. So for the yoga of clear light, there's a dissolution phase as we're falling asleep that mirrors the dissolution phase that happens while dying. And unlike the dying, though, of course, the falling asleep dissolution phase is only a temporary ceasing.
Hopefully not the other one.
Whereas in the at the time of the actual bardo of dying, then we have these phases: increase, close, increase, attainment, and then at the end of that, we have the dawning of the
blackout.
Oh.
Blackout.
Then there's a small blacking out, falling unconscious.
남자 망실 때 blackout 용거리에서 그래. blackout 매바 지는 제 따뜻 빼마세. 콤보레. blackout 이 세바다 냠도. blackout 레 당문도 되는 많이 왔었대. 레레기도 와. blackout 잔 매바다 빼마세 갈가 그래서. 테스트 톰도 와서. 디 이나야?
니칼라. 치게 발도다. 니쿠기 비카소야.
니쿠 내가
나스.
남절 법에 맛이 약보이는 그 블랙아웃 잡라 블랙아웃 윤통통만 요마로.
So pretty much all yogis have a very brief moment of blacking out, whether it's the bardo of dying or falling asleep. It's extremely rare, very difficult to have no blacking out happen at all. So they describe the experience as a brief moment of blacking out or falling unconscious and then waking up to the mother luminosity. It's extremely difficult to have not even a moment of unconsciousness.
I heard many conversations within the lamas, and they talk about, oh, this lama has still a blackout. This lama don't have. I can do whole day and night practice, but the blackout, my God, still couldn't help go through that. So I heard that over the conversation here and there a little bit. But I don't have this experience. I'm really blackout.
And so then after the blackout, the ground luminosity or mother luminosity dawns. And so we either recognize at that moment or we black out again.
No.
Fall asleep. Then Jigitamalani.
Which one? The dream or the bardo?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry, scratch that out. Then we either recognize or not. Shigu asal sharwe kapsu.
Moshena, tani? Bardo capsule. I've been making these two together. Bardo capsule, then my wasal re. And ni capsule, wasal re.
Wasal re. So then, Umse is teaching the dying bardo and falling asleep at the same time. So then, when luminosity dawns in the bardo, either we recognize the mother luminosity, and if we don't recognize that, the bardo of becoming unfolds.
토갈 공부이나 주니 파르도 주용거. 아, 어서가 나와. 토갈 마곰바 샤샤샤 쳔볼 주니 파르도 요마레.
아, 나서.
토갈 공부 요마라. 이 주니 파르도 다오지 다오 설섬게 나와지 샤기를 마도. 이나 토가게 나와 말했어 그래.
나서.
주니게 나와 말해.
아, 나서.
도진도 가서 주니 나와 열다. 샤샤 쳔볼 주니 나오면 도와스. 라고 그래. 제발 말해.
So then at the dying time, there's before the bardo of becoming happens, there's also then the bardo of dharmata. In the Nyingma system, because then there's these appearances of clear light or luminosity connected to the Togal practice. But in the Mahamudra system, the Togal practice doesn't exist, so then they say that doesn't happen. Then
no, it sort of happened, but there's no technique, no teaching, no recognition. It's very fast. And chedela Togal mongbo gomdena chunyung onsum nyam kongpil sapardo nyam kongpil nawaya bo rekpa sepek nawaya bayina nyam kongpil kapjona then the kansa di shedu chunyi pardo be yunumbu yongor. Something shatan tumbas when ngazu Togal gomdo kamachu degana the kapso kamachu shagore kamanyu dana kamanyu shagyo. So it's a time that we can liberate. chunyi pardola takko sani chedela Togal magombayina 자전이 Togal gong marwa zoche mangje Togal gong marwa magombe ti 샤샤거려 봐 욕욕욕욕욕 전 차례 와도 그 chedel Togal majang wi tendige chunyi pardo 긴 나와도 주는 분 내가 말해 데레마도 샤냐가 샤거래 그 chunyi라 와 샤야 오 자전에 샤거래스 샤리 말에 조신에 샤거래 깨져 말해 조신 Togal 냠는 쟁은되기 샤르도 주는 거 샤요래 Togal 냠는 맞게 뉴뉴마
So then the Namaya Lapkurbe?
So this is edited one, then you put
Lasuna. She said before, so then the Dzogchen yogi said, yeah, those Mahamudra practitioners, they don't have the Bardo of Dharmata.
We have.
But it's not exactly like that. Actually happens in both cases because it's dharmata. It's the nature. It's the natural reality. So it happens in both cases. It's just that there's not a specific practice emphasized in the Mahamudra lineage for a practice associated with that. Whereas in the Nyingma lineage, there's the Togal practice. And so if we train well in Togal practice while we're alive, then it's said that the appearances of clear light in the Bardo of Dharmata last for as long as our concentration or samadhi lasts while doing Togal. Most practitioners don't practice Togal. It doesn't exist in the Mahamudra tradition, and even probably most Nyingma practitioners don't either. Most focus on Treksha practice. But if one does practice Togal, then let's say one samadhi in Togal practice lasts for 10 minutes, then the Bardo of Dharmata appearances would last for 10 minutes. Or if it was 20 minutes, they may last for 20 minutes. But if not, if we haven't accustomized and practiced in that manner while alive, then the Dharmata, Bardo, clear light appearances dawn and then immediately end. And so that's how they happen for most people, including Mahamudra practitioners.
Togal nawa de ni shagyo samare
Naso.
Ni kapsula.
Naso.
Tingara hago maso ngarang. Ni su ya natom amsang ya natom sante sound te ya natom te sewa da nyamdu ane gosal ngoshetumna
Wasagina.
gosal ane pe agro melam yo maretela gosal ni kuba ina semde gosal ngala deto ta gosal de ngo mashena deni milam yongdo milam dis papardo da ure
so I don't think that the dharmata appearances happen during the falling asleep experience. I think there's just a passing out, blacking out into unconsciousness, and then the mother luminosity dawns in falling asleep. La.
Wasal.
Sorry.
Mother luminosity ke mare.
Sorry, not mother luminosity.
The mother luminosity parto ke jare.
Sorry, that's
wasal kre.
Not mother luminosity. That's when we're dying. just luminosity. So then, sorry, slash that out. So then when we're falling asleep, after we black out or fall unconscious, then luminosity dawns. And if we recognize that, then we can remain in clear light or luminosity, even though we're asleep, and the dream state doesn't happen. We just stay in clear light or luminosity, even though we're asleep. The mind is in clear light. If we don't recognize, then movement happens, which manifests as the dream state, which is similar to the bardo of becoming after dying.
No.
So in the best case, of course, for both, while we recognize the luminosity while falling asleep, or recognize the mother luminosity while dying at the end of the dissolution phases. So that's the best case scenario. And that is, then the empty luminosity, or emptiness and clarity recognized in union. And then the sleep state sort of dawns as clear light, or while we're asleep, our mind is in clear light. That's the best case. If that doesn't happen, we have then dreams stir, and dreams occur. And then the practice is, which is also an aspiration we make before, if we don't recognize clear light, may I recognize the dream state as a dream state. In other words, may I become lucid in dreaming.
Dream di ngosho sta. Ade dumbare dream ngosho tabshe ba kan che yamare nyelbi kapsula tini da visualization da blessing den so kanga nyamdula dumbaje shane tanga rap wasal ngosho bro mena melam yimba ngosho basho teni dumba yabu jitangne tena ma nyegore ne dumbi wangke teni melam ngosho toba chasigres
so so really this is mainly happens, or lucidity mainly happens through aspiration or intention. There's not really any other main special method for becoming lucid. So while we're falling asleep, we have a visualization, we supplicate for blessings, and we make this intention, we set this intention. In the best case, may I recognize clear light and remain in clear light during the sleep state. And if not, may I recognize the dream as being a dream. May I become lucid in my dream. And then by the power of that intention or that aspiration, it's possible that we will become lucid.
That the intention when you are mangu nyamnyung yorwa shu subalango and the intention ngana nyedena shu sumbata ni segdwa.
We're quite familiar with this, how intention can yield results, because many of us have fallen asleep with the intention to wake up at 3, and then somehow we wake up at 3. So it does work.
It's not like every hour you woke up. No, exactly 3 o'clock you woke up. Most of the time. Inner alarm. With intention. We use the same door, same element to recognize the dream as dream. Tenita milam ngoshe sana teni chikpare ya ta milam den ngoshe na juludang dawre.
So
Juludang chik milam dang ni ani sipa parso sumde dewa yore.
so
Ata nyingi negapso tabu julujang nyingi negapso julujang tig wange sengi negapso milam la pento gore. Milam de jangola teni sanyi sipa parso pento gore koranso dewa yore chikchu.
So then recognizing that we're dreaming, becoming lucid, is kind of similar to illusory body practice.
Daytime.
During the day, while we're awake. So there's a connection between illusory body practice while we're awake, and dream yoga while we're dreaming, and then the experience of the bardo of becoming after we die. And so if we practice illusory body well while we're awake as a practice, this benefits us while we're dreaming to practice dream yoga, and it benefits us later on after we die in the bardo of becoming.
And dream julug zo the karesana ta chibar ga zuma wa shesare dedar nawa gi nawa tham chi rang sem ji rang shi sem de ga tongba rang shi tongba de yang wasa ga rang shi ina nang shi gi nawa te milam juma rang shi re ten digi ngi shi chi ni gi ne ga sola chi yo de ba na ta nga ta juma na nga do do juma na de gi do juma rang shin do sa gi do jumi ngo tongba re tongbe rang dang do juma re 메션도 나와래 생인데 다들 주바달라 로장나 드니 디기 톱디기 선이 니세베 내가서 밀람데야 고랑시 주바 말에 밀람레 밀람 니기 춤틀었던 샤르 영화래 등이지고 저와치도 그러 대나이 산이 시르베 내가서 야 땅가 생하마게 나와 눕소 이나 세심이게 나와래 마소 데파르토나 파르도 생이지 나망가게 장소 다들 파르도 나와는 갈 중도와 되는 파르도 예방 것이 랑게 tem나도 두어면도 자만나라 강바샤는 제샤기도 하면도 땅가 심으시 따야 탐망 보여라 그래서 따네야 다니 라타달라마 담나 테니 에네 파르도 스바 파르도야 싱감 야나 자와야 볼레나 데데 탑진 야 조야 탑지고 그래 그래서 그냥 찍진 잡아도와 나를 주둑 생는데 그냥 잡아요
라서 So then the kind of essence of illusory body practice is very much connected to what we've been discussing in this last several days. Recognizing that all experience, all perception is mind. Recognizing that the mind is empty. Recognizing that emptiness is in union with luminosity, and so forth. And then within that, whatever appears, whatever nangwa, whatever appearances, perceptions, and experiences we have are illusory, are dreamlike. So it's very connected to that. So everything's illusory. I'm going in an illusory way. I'm staying in an illusory way. I'm eating in an illusory way. Everything is the play of illusion.
So wonderful. I can play with that.
But all of it isn't really truly real or solid.
But it's really enough to play. There's a relative truth. Yeah.
All these appearances are the sort of radiance or natural expression of the empty essence. While not being truly solid, they continue to appear. And so that understanding, if we train in that well, if we habituate to that view and understanding through practice, then later that night when we're dreaming, we can recognize in a similar way, this is a dream. This is the nature of a dream. This is not real. This is appearing but not solid. This is like a magical apparition generated by my dreaming consciousness. And this can then benefit us in our dream yoga practice. And then tomorrow or the next day when we pass away...
No, next day, please. Some one time. If you said that, no one will practice dream yoga.
It's a bad Tibetan play on words because they say tomorrow to mean any time in the future. So at some point when we die, that same understanding will benefit us because we can then realize in the bardo of becoming, the appearances of the past life are now finished. The appearances of the subsequent life, my next life, have not yet started yet. I'm in the bardo. I know what the bardo is. I've studied that. I know it. I've received teachings on that. I can supplicate the Lama. I can investigate it. I can, put my foot down on sand in the bardo and see if it leaves a footprint. and make sure. I can look if I can look and see if my body casts a shadow or not, because the bardo body, being a mental body, doesn't cast a shadow. And so then we can actually practice and
go to see my daughter, how they respond. Oh son, if you have a good relationship, hopefully yes. Or your partner, maybe a partner is making smoke puja to you. Okay, don't say the sad things.
We can, bring to mind whatever practices, connections, lamas, deities, and so on that we've connected to before. And then we can bring them to mind in the bardo because we're aware of what's happening. So all the 6 yogas in this way, dream yoga, the yoga of clear light, the yoga of the bardo, and so on, are connected.
Illusory body.
And illusory body. They're all connected.
That the practical chega kapsula yang kapkala ni nangla yang ni khup milam nala oh nge pata ko nge milam semjing nelo ngalo nyambar sha ko thena nang kapkala ni se ore
so
and then yapore sungdu
na so sometimes also while we're dreaming we might remember to look at our mind essence. And so we might have the thought or the remembrance, oh, I should recognize my nature. And then we might do that while dreaming. And then we might wake up from our dream. Yeah. And that's said to be a good thing.
I think feel you happen like that, no? You sleep, dream, and then in the dream you know, oh, I have to look my nature, and you look my nature, and within the Rigpa or my nature, the actual dream also woke up. And when you woke up, the continuation is still there. A little bit of Rigpa which you recognize in the dream is still continue when you woke up also. That's good. I asked this to Gujara many times. So he says good. For me, I cannot continue dream. Keep waking up, which I don't like. I want to go to the wasal. But instead of wasal, I woke up. Instead of wasal going into sleep, you can go through the dream yoga to wasal also, clear light also, without waking up. I think it's quite good, no? Your body completely rest, at the same time you're on the wasal. But me, as soon as I do this, I woke up. Then I have to sleep again. So daytime feel a little bit restless, not enough sleep. So best is the first going into wasal until tomorrow morning. That's the best one. Not recognize dream, and you recognize your natural mind in the dream, and going to wasal, continue until tomorrow morning. That's the best, without waking up. But with wake up also, okay. But you will have more restless day next day. Other two, no, you enough sleep. Okay. Tani, ta torang rikpasal tabi namjurnes.
So. Then the next one is the yoga of refreshing Rigpa in the early morning.
Shu jidang rangi senyila jikdil tangla chepar lami menga samu dinam temperature la Rigpa nyamji salta baos. Read one time.
Carefully consider Dharma in general and its specific characteristics. In particular, bring to mind these profound pith instructions of your Lama. Pure awareness will be refreshed through experience.
Okay. Dhamma kore. Dhamma kore. De dharma ro. Shibzu chuya dharma re. Dharma chuchulu jugorwa. Mare kemo. Dharma chuchulu jugorwa. Jeje mangin jeje jeje mangin jeje. Jeje 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 dajo. Dhamma jeja. Chune shazal lamdan tegare. Nyangin dedan ijo. Mare. Sonam tse ni mare. Re. Okay. Tadi. Ta 가이나 강들 다야 니세 온도 다디 송당 담으로도 와 나랑 그 도로를 바살답스네 지슈비 갑슬라 니세보다 냠도 칸네 하 그래서 봐 다지 시바마 니나 팀댕 시바도 양 살랑가자 하그봐 시바도 봐 팀댕 시바 멍멍차도 봐 되네 낭박이 있는 반 레송하라고 저 하 선적으로 송요르다.
That's
근데 내가 전에 야 보여줘. 니 냐고냐 야랑 와다 냠도 kan lakba endi daw che sen sem de ma mong nen tim de ba pa ming do na re le ban na ta tang sang nangbal hare to is de gore so.
So there's quite a few different sort of pith instructions about this particular point. One that I like to do is...
I received like that teaching.
Rinpoche said what he received, this sort of style is to wake up and immediately sort of expel all the sort of dullness and confusion of the sleep state by straightening the arms out.
And like this. The rikpa, torang rikpa nyamji saltab. Ti tangpo jana yasaro. Rikpa nyamji saltab yawre, rikpa korang la korang, yang gesture ta, hata ta, mangpo jana ko, tom tingi rikpa ya salhange, tang, ni seba da nyamdu, tangpo, lega shen kaya marjo. Not looking your handphone. Tangpo rikpa saltab che.
So this is like the practice of what to do immediately upon waking up from sleep. Rather than checking our iPhone, we should refresh Rigpa. It's the very first thing that we do.
I'm sure you're not doing here. In Asia, first thing wake up, the grab phone. In Asia, Hong Kong, Taiwan. Sleep with the phone, eat with the phone, dream with the phone. But yeah, it's much better. You're almost fed up, no? Almost, but not yet. Sasu?
Sasu.
Yeah. Yeso jam. Ana rupa salangar dem baje.
Sort of it's a kind of fresh, vivid Rigpa. It's like refreshing the clarity aspect of Rigpa.
Then what I learned is, then teachel taru tribu da jona, taru tribu jitu.
If you have a damaru and a bell, you can play them also.
Ha, taru tribu. Integas mikpate, dunjin nangbala, ane pawo tam pamo, ane pawo tam pamo tamje dunjin nangbala ya pemi, ane nge marik ba ni temuti, trusong kunso taru trusong.
So another element can be if you have a damaru and a bell, you can ring them, and then along with that practice, imagine all the dakas and dakinis are sort of present in the sky in front of you, ringing their bells and damarus, helping us wake up from our dullness of sleep.
And they the budget don't have marinito singing the budget don't have don't have Madonna Chabakame.
There's also a little recitation to do for this called Waking Up from the Sleep of Ignorance. You can also recite that if you want, and if you don't want to recite it, that's also fine.
And they chesolo the Lama Jamudona Yapoyore. Was Peglosola, Lama Jamudongore. Rebanyam Salta, Nyamti, that Tepatang, Damaguda, Ninjita, Ninjunda, Lama Jamuna Tebaki, Yore Ninjun, Yore, Ninji, Yore, Megokanga, Lama Jamu. Taji, Rupatalapa, Nyams, the big Nyam, Ninji Nyam, the current Saltaps.
And then afterwards, you can recite calling the Lama from afar, also, if you want. That's a Tibetan tradition. Because it says here, pure awareness will be refreshed through experience. And so the experience is like bringing forth the faith, compassion, devotion, the vividness, and so on. And all those elements are contained in the calling the Lama from afar. So you can chant it, refresh those experiences, and then through that, refresh Rigpa.
Then they cheso, then church the rang senila, Yital Tang, San Dijana Yabuja, Lama Danyam the Lamson, church the rang senila, Shiratang to me. Yani so on your church the Kare, Church Gerbagare, then Nichapachene, Sharap Namji, Chutamjel, and Chitang Kare. Chita rang seni, then Sharap Shaper Chase, then it teaches Lamim Menganam Tens and Lamson Ten to Mara, Shugaya Lana, Hala, then Darutu, Lama Jambo, the Kangacha, then Nave, there's something tang to return to practical.
Sampachi.
Sampachi.
So then I think it's then after that would be better to carefully consider the Dharma in general and its specific characteristics. Otherwise, if we first wake up and we're kind of groggy and drowsy and trying to think, what's the Dharma? It's a general, specific Dharma truth. I don't know. So it's better.
Yeah.
What did my Lama tell me? Then we better to maybe shout the ha and play the bell and damaru, chant Lama, calling the Lama, refresh the experience, and then after that, when we're more awake, remember the Dharma, specific things, our teachings of our Lama, and so on. Probably be better that way.
So, the chicker is Santal Sani Shashana.
Sani Shashana. So then we'll leave the last one for tomorrow.
It's okay, no? The most dangerous one. And then the website in Devaka is done.
Ale. So we have a collection of questions from our streaming Dharma friends.
Hello.
These have been building up over several days. Tressa finally printed them out because I kept forgetting. The first question, we don't have names associated with these, so it just
no need.
Doesn't matter. The first question, how is it that basic space is not neutral? Did essential qualities like compassion and omniscience and so forth become infused in space? Or was what we call essence qualities embedded in the original nature? How do we know? How did these qualities beyond neutral space get there?
Basic space te tamo?
Yin deshik ningpo yin sare. Karichine kozo di
neutral marabes.
Neutral karichine neutral marabes. Karichine ningje da kencha dan jezo chasa ane rangshingi de yuna.
Yorbes.
Yorbes.
Okay. 아니 ingdang salwasan ni yorwa ingdi nutrulanan digore
Naso.
inaya ingdi chutamjil ing yorwa
Naso.
dendanshi semla ing yorwa
Naso.
semda ingdi nutrulanan digore ina semdi nutrul mare sem korangi 살짝 jorwa
Naso.
sem 살짝 korangla rang신기 ngo tongbarede ina de dang salware di salwadela 아니 고단 연등이 이시 런지 접도 요래 해서요.
Naso.
잉라 요 말에 그요메 계제 가야 말에 추 탐적이 내로 그래. 이나야 추 탐적이 나네 셈추 셈 is one of the 추. 되게 추 되게 내로 동바시잖아. 안디 셈그 연된데 아니 동바가 땅 예메도 차네 아니 고단 이시 연된데 랑체스 요래 해서요. 셈나 요래서 그러면 동바로 요래서 말에.
Naso. So basically, it's okay to say that basic space itself is neutral, sort of. But we can say that. But clarity or luminosity is not neutral. Because everything has basic space. It's the common essence of everything. And amongst all those phenomena, one of them is mind. And so mind also has basic space. The nature of mind is also basic space. But the mind doesn't just have basic space, it also has clarity. And the clarity, and therefore the mind, is not neutral. The mind has a lucidity or luminosity present in it. The essence of that is empty. But within that clarity also, there's the kayas, the qualities, and the wisdoms, and so on. And those qualities are naturally and spontaneously present in the clarity aspect of the mind. So that the basic space, which is the nature of all phenomena, we can say is neutral. But amongst all those, mind is one. And the clarity of the mind, although it is empty clarity, along with the emptiness of the mind, are naturally and spontaneously present qualities which are not neutral. All these qualities are present in the clarity aspect, not in the empty aspect. But for the qualities in the clarity aspect to become manifest and to express themselves, we have to recognize the empty aspect. So, the second question is, on the second day you mentioned empty clarity. How can I bring these together in meditation? The clarity seems to me quite obvious, but how to recognize emptiness within that clarity?
Hopefully, clarity marigmangpudwa shinin temeki clarity yimbi rewayos.
So, there's many kinds of clarity. I hope that we can experience one of those types, which is called the clarity of shamatha without support.
Di nyone di patang di gitangla gom gi zimba joro clarity ki shine temela neba gi cha zimba gi cha patang shana ani clarity yobala ani there's no base within the clarity dil gomja meba zungja meba kai meba ine yono yoba chila tende chuna ne tongba tang salwani yerbe cha gore temato salwa de kala tongba sha shana peng mare next to salwa tongba shana peng salwa sal tong cha godu sawa korang ranshin la zimba shobi gi necha gi cha pa shiksana deni te kazang dependent jere steju gomba gi tawape
ori. So, in that kind of clarity, which still has some kind of subtle fixation or grasping on the meditating, and the resting, then we break or let go or dissolve that subtle fixation on the meditating and the resting. And then the meditator and the grasping onto the meditation experience fall away, and then we can experience clarity and emptiness in an indivisible way. Otherwise, if we try to bring emptiness in as another thing into our clarity, that doesn't work. Or if we try to focus on emptiness and separate our experience of clarity, also doesn't work. So it's when the resting aspect or clinging onto the meditation falls away, we can experience that. And the example was given the other day, the yogi in Sechu Gompa in Tibet, in his practice.
Salwa tongba salware. Tindu salwa total ngoshena tongba teremado. Tongba korang ngoshe kaya mare tongba nawa mare slarwa kaso.
No, so.
So it's saying that every day.
It's said that clarity is emptiness, and emptiness is clarity. But emptiness itself is not another experience. It's not another perception we have. The way in which emptiness is recognized is through the experience we call simplicity, beyond constructs.
Emptiness ngoshe hemarda.
There's no seeing or perceiving of emptiness itself.
Emptiness ngoshe kona total ngoshe.
If you want to recognize emptiness, so to speak, the mind has to be in simplicity, go beyond constructs.
So simplicity the salwate.
And the experience of simplicity is an experience that our clarity has.
Understand? When clarity becomes simplicity, that's the name of emptiness. Emptiness itself, there's nothing to can, because it never exists. How you can have emptiness? The emptiness bring into our practice the gopa karesana. Tota chagore. Tota chana zimba shitore. Zimba shana le tatore. Le dana conceptual delusion shitore. The emptiness language emptiness image maro.
The reason we invoke or bring emptiness into our practice in the first place, the purpose of it, is to experience simplicity beyond constructs. The reason that we want to experience simplicity beyond constructs is to purify karma, so that delusion can fall away, so that conceptual delusion can be liberated. That's the point of invoking or mentioning, inviting emptiness at all. Otherwise, why do we need it?
We can build based on reify I. Why emptiness? It's much easier. Emptiness makes everything dissolved. It's not so fun. I'm joking. Dini?
Chua Sumpasana. The third question is, please know. My question is, if mere-ness and the subtle experiencer is the same. I believe that Rinpoche said we need the mere-ness to benefit beings, but I'm not sure.
Mere-ness we need in order to function. And benefit is also part of functioning. So don't destroy the mere-ness. It's a relative point that we need to engage ourselves into other. If we destroy that, then we become nihilistic. But if you reify that, then we could become some other problem. So it's called just that mere functionality reference. Is the real true? No. Is not there? No. Why? How? Mere existent. And this mere existence we need now. Takbitala malung, chipitala malung, umasikdwa.
The middle way view does not fall into a nihilistic perspective, neither does it take an eternalistic view.
So that the experience of notion karesana the mere derwa.
So then what is left as experience, there's a mereness, a mere I.
Philosophical or takba kaingo. Philosophical shena umasengde takbitala malung, chipitala malung. Then yogi la uma nyamzu nyona kana nyongoresen. The mere I yoshire. Ko kunzup tamla. Demba revesana demba mares. Meba resna me mares. Yoba revesana yeres. Dendu rena mares. And the candidates that yosam so.
So philosophically, the middle way view is described as not falling into nihilism, not falling into eternalism on the other side. But when a yogi is practicing, what is it like in their experience? In their experience, there's a mere I. There's a mereness. Mere appearances are happening.
We have everything.
It's not truly solid. It's not nothing at all. Something sort of there, but it's not solid and concretized. So there's mere experience.
So, and there's mere sentient beings also, and mere bodhicitta, mere compassion. Maybe your compassion, mere compassion, but sentient beings might not experience mereness, and they might experience reify away. So there's a challenge how mere compassion change reify I. That is a bodhisattva's struggle, pain, which is the right way. They're not enjoying. They struggle to change reification in some other's mind. If you have a point of view, negative, and you reify that as a solid, there's no way to change. No matter what, Buddha landed in front of you. My point of view is the right one. So, okay, thank you. I'll pray for you from behind, because nothing I can do. Oh, the last one?
Niladu. The next one I don't understand at all. So we'll skip that one. And then the next one.
I might understand. Okay, never mind. Okay.
You want to try?
No, okay, the last one.
Then I'm unclear about the terminology. Is luminosity and lucidity the same as cognizance and clarity? The former to me has to do with an actual light source, while the latter, the nipo denzo, to a level of understanding. Latter tsana ani.
Latter.
Mariti shenda denzo.
Oh.
Dangbo denzo ani.
Nipa later.
Later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So?
However, I think that salwa means all of these. Please explain. Does it have to do with brightness and light, or awareness and understanding?
Both. Six salwa, low salwa, where salwa rawa. In that, sheba la jaona, ani sheba tangwa, nyopa mepa, ko work keja mare. Light, chilo light keja mare.
Lasso.
Nang light. Chilo kick, kaingo. Electric light keja shego mare.
Lasso.
Sunlight keja shego mare.
Lasso.
Chitang six salwas tamchil gogre.
Lasso.
Oh, lope salvadua, nyama salvadua.
Lasso. Actually, it refers to both outer normal light sources, like the sunlight, brightness, or any kind of external light, and it refers to the light of wisdom, the light of understanding inwardly, which has nothing to do with any external light source.
Tani ta nangit keshana salvat dang cognizant dang salva dang cognizant dang ani kare
lucidity,
lucidity da,
and clarity.
Clarity, sunga chikbare.
And the words that refer to the inner quality of salva, like clarity, lucidity, cognizance, and so forth, all have the same meaning.
Okay, all under the clarity. All of that, zoom into clarity. Now, luminosity. Luminosity tang clarity ni chikwa revesana. Luminosity like clarity ki element yore. Ina luminosity so toni shibigi. Toni dan yermi di yobigi. Tela mang cha vesel sana. Tene je salwa dan vesel ni chapa karesana. Ane vesel sengendi ko tongba ni dan salwa yermi do jogore. Salwa sengne injemi tongba yogo ha che mare. Ko salwa tongba yobi salwa yore, tongba mebi salwa yoro.
And then, so all of those things fall under the category of salwa. There's another term called usel, and that is when clarity is recognizing emptiness or its own empty essence. We call it clear light or luminosity. So clarity doesn't always recognize its own emptiness. And so when it doesn't, we call it salwa.
Saltong tikaresan luminosity days.
But when it does, we call it empty clarity, which is also called usel, luminosity or clear light. So that's the difference between usel and salwa.
Usel zopachembu segera. Salwa zopachembu like maro.
So they, for example, they say the clear light, great perfection, or the luminous Dzogpa Chenpo. They don't say just the clear Dzogpa Chenpo.
Yeah. Yeah. So salwa tongni yo bechar yore. Salwa yana tongni injimi yo go yo mare. Namishigasana salwa de tongba ngoshena saltong de tene wasal reis.
So the usel involves the recognition of emptiness or the empty essence, whereas clarity or salwa doesn't necessarily. One day when clarity does recognize its empty essence, when clarity recognizes emptiness, that's called empty clarity, which is a synonym for usel, luminosity or clear light.
Yes, that's saltong. And within the saltong, whatever appearance appeared is called nangtong. No saltong. If there's no saltong, there's no nangtong.
There's no empty clarity, there's no empty appearances.
Yeah. The perceiver is a salva. And when the perceiver perceives without ego, fixation, emptiness, and that's the whole perceiver. What do you perceive? Perceive nawa. Whatever nawa, pure nawa, impure nawa, happy, like thoughts, emotions, fire, water, everything except emptiness. Emptiness is not nawa. Emptiness doesn't come like a flag. Okay, hope comes, anger comes, devotion comes, compassion comes. Okay, now emptiness is also coming. Sorry. Emptiness doesn't have any wing, any form, any shape. Emptiness is the way clarity rests in the baseless. That is the emptiness. So called saltong. And within the saltong, all the piles of karmic tendencies in the alaya. So we are making alaya bankrupt. The only way we can make alaya bankrupt, you have to remain in saltong. Otherwise, salva go after the, investors and make more, investing. So now salva is resting its own natural emptiness, doing nothing. Then all the bank will send different advertisement, all self-liberate, going into recycle. Cash come, so you're not, salva is not frozening. The moment salva froze into the nawa, you lose tongpa. Then if you can, saltong, nangtong, detong, Everything's tong, tong, tong.
Empty clarity, empty appearances, empty bliss.
Okay, thank you. So, Annie, we have a guest. I introduce your book a little bit because you elegantly explains emptiness in your native language. I'm from Alien, come from Tibet, so I know their mind a little bit, but I don't know really, and I don't want to know so deeply. So it's like going to Thailand. You know, Thailand in general, people are very smart, kind. But underneath, they said some anger. So I don't want to know. I'm happy with the service. I don't know whether they have deep down anger or not. I don't know. But at the service, so beautiful. I'm content by that. Can you talk about a little bit your book, if possible, or no?
Sure, I'm happy to.
Yeah. Few minutes. We have 20 minutes. 15, 20 minutes. Adam, change. Sit. Come, sit there. How? You didn't did me. When I come, you didn't do that, no? No. This does not count. It's based on. This is based on demand. So. Not organic. Okay, sorry. Misunderstanding about emptiness?
Studying about emptiness.
Misunderstanding.
Oh, misunderstandings about emptiness.
So, commonly, there's basic misunderstandings, and then what is the right understanding? And or what is the right
topic? Okay, I'll try.
And what is the beyond understanding?
Okay.
3 things.
Okay, well, let me write this down. So what the
misunderstanding?
Uh-huh.
Right understanding? Beyond understanding.
Right. Okay, I'll try. Okay. Yeah, I do. Maybe. Where's Neil? Neil, will you get me my sticks just in case? Neil knows. He's heard me talk about it. Sometimes it helps. They have to be 3 different sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just off the cuff, one of the main misunderstandings, I think, is to make it a thing, which you just addressed.
Right.
So when we're thinking about anything conceptually, conceptual mind makes everything a thing.
Right.
It nominalizes everything. So, we talk about enlightenment or an iPhone or even a cluster of things like a forest. It all becomes a thing because that's the way conceptual mind works. Right. That's the nature of conceptual mind. So conceptual mind is not a negative thing. It's a wonderful thing that we can use to communicate. It's a very elegant, magical thing, I feel. But if we think the thing that we're looking at is limited to what we think about it, then the kind of appearance of the thing outshines its nature, and we can't really understand what it really is. So,
what is really is?
Sorry?
What is the really?
Well, okay, the sticks, maybe I could do it through the sticks. This I found this the most efficient way,
Okay.
and it's fast too.
Good.
Oh, my earring is always a problem. Okay. Yeah, I think.
Nelly, can
well,
you
the
stay
contrast is-
between us? Joking.
Okay. Well, it's not the biggest contrast. You know how that, but we'll do the best that we can. Okay. Okay. This is about, we can focus on
The pen.
Okay.
Also there.
A pen. See, Rimshi already knows kind
Yeah.
of what I'm going to do.
More elegant.
Okay, I guess this will work. This will work better than these. You need 3 different sizes. So I have these 3. So let me just ask you a few questions and see what you come up with. So would you say this is we're going to talk about length. So is this a long or a short stick? Just pretend they're all sticks. Medium, short, anything
Long.
else? Long.
Also.
Yeah, okay. So what happens when I put this next to it? It becomes longer in relationship to this one. And then if I hold this one up, what happens? It becomes short, right?
Sure.
So the first question is, does the length of the stick exist in, does the length exist in the stick itself? Does it have an objective
Yeah, no.
characteristic? You think it does? Does this have an objective characteristic of length? Only in relationship. See, this is what we're getting at, is the
Right.
nature of relationship. Because things are in relationship, things actually don't have intrinsic characteristics from their own side. So this, we can agree, has a utility. It's like something to hit a gong, but let's just pretend like it's a stick. I mean, this can be used for other things besides hitting a gong. So let me ask you what the utility of this thing is. Firewood, or to stir a pot, or to hit someone, or it could be like a place for a bug to burrow into. You can make a house, whatever, like a little house or something. It's a teaching device. We're teaching about dependent relationships right now. So who would have thought, right? So what is the utility of this? It all depends. That's the best answer. It all depends on the context. And the size of the length of the stick also depends on the elements you hold up to it.
Right.
So Rinpoche is asking the question, what is it really then? Whatever we designate it to be, it all depends on who's using it, when they're using it, why they're using it. So do you think then that there's any truth that you can find in terms of what this is?
Depends.
It all depends. So it doesn't have an ultimate designation. It only has, the designations work beautifully in the realm of relative relationships. So so the question for me always comes as, can you be right? Is it possible to be right in the world of contingent relationships? It is? How say? Yeah, it happens to us all the time. Well, I mean, who's the arbiter of what's right and wrong? How would you ever verify if something is right or okay? Oh, hi, Wayne.
It has a limited potentiality, though. We can't designate it as an elephant.
It has limited potentiality. Well, who says it does really?
Would you designate that as an elephant?
Yeah, you could carve it into an elephant, I suppose, if you want. But these are imputed designations. I mean, it doesn't exist from its own side. So we have agreements. We have language agreements. So in this room, we all speak English. So we have, we live in a world where we think we agree on certain things. So yeah, I wouldn't call this an elephant.
But you would call it, it's there. You could say it's there.
Not really.
in front of you. You could say.
I mean, this is not a denial of also of experience, but it's a denial. When we all look into the nature of relationships, we can see that in fact it all depends on who's looking at it. I mean, from my understanding in looking at this, you can't be right because it doesn't exist in the object itself. You can say this is big, this is big, this is big, right? But then when you put this up to it, it's not going to be big anymore.
So there's nothing there?
It's not saying nothing, but what we're doing is we're actually, who says that things have to either exist or don't exist? The interesting thing about this is you're stepping outside that whole system of existence and non-existence and looking at things in a different way. So why is this significant? Is because we look around at the world and we think it exists as we think it does.
But is something there?
It's beyond is or isn't. So like Rinpoche, like you know this, I'm sure, like Mipam Rinpoche says, our minds are dualistic. We can only think like an elephant. You know, an elephant washes off in the water when it's dirty, and then it rolls in the dirt to dry off. And we can never find another way of looking at anything. So this is the problem.
But there's a dirt. But there's a dirt. There's something. It depends on the relational, but something there to depend.
Yeah, it's not a nothing.
So what is that?
But it's not a something.
Something is what?
It keeps falling off.
It's Adam's ear size, different from yours.
Yeah, I have a very small ear size. Good, I have a break to think about what Rinpoche is asking. It's not a denial of appearance. It's not a denial. So let me ask a further question.
Okay.
If everything depends, does it matter what you do? Are you kind of undermining the nature of contingent relationships and experience? So if everything is leaning, basically what we're talking about is that everything leans. So it's not saying that there's nothing arising. It's just saying that things are arising based on contingencies. So if things are...
It's okay. Can I talk to her? You don't mind? I want to... also, if you want. So something there is what? Atom? Molecule? Or that also depends?
Well, if you look into the nature of a molecule, for one thing, in order to perceive a molecule, there has to be a subject and an object. So right there's relationship. And also within the boundaries of what we call a molecule are parts. And when you look into any one of those parts, it opens up into more... Sorry, Rinpoche?
It's particle.
Are there particles? I mean, relatively, we can say there's particles. So one of the ways to examine... I feel so funny, like I'm teaching to Rinpoche. It's so awkward.
No.
It's awkward.
No. I'm just, I just mentioned everything is mind. So just want to see the Madhyamika point of view.
Yeah. Well, mind arises independence upon an object. So we don't, from the Madhyamika point of view, like the Prasangika point of view, you wouldn't say there's mind as separate from inside and outside are not two separate things. Mind always arises with an object, kind of like a mirror. You know, a mirror seems like a neutral phenomena, but a mirror actually is a mirror by virtue of what reflects in it. So in the same way with the mind arises with an object. And therefore, it's a contingent relationship. So from the Madhyamika point of view, everything is in relationship to everything else.
Coexist.
Dependent arising or mutually caused or...
So when people say emptiness, they want to destroy that stick.
Well, you can't destroy.
No, for my understanding. As long as the stick is there, or stick or something is there, I'm not realize emptiness.
Yeah.
It's normal misunderstanding.
That's a very big misunderstanding.
So how
That's a nihilistic
how to clarify that?
Well, for one thing, you can't, it's not about reducing the phenomenal world to dust, which you couldn't do even if you wanted to, because things will arise because they are empty. If things were intrinsically existent, we couldn't even have an experience, because things would be inert and stuck in their place. It's because everything is leaning that things arise and express themselves. So, empty, right?
You are the boss.
Yeah, so we often think when we're doing, say, analytical meditation, we're breaking things down and reducing it to nothingness. But in fact, the only thing you're really breaking down and looking at is your tendency to reify. And it's through looking at the nature of dependent arising that you interrupt the process of reification.
So you're saying emptiness is just understanding? No phenomena, no perception.
Am I saying there's no perception?
Emptiness is not a perception, not a thing, but is an understanding of the thing.
Yeah, emptiness
understanding
is
about the thing.
Yeah.
Not the thing, another thing, to think.
Yeah.
Are you saying that?
Yeah. Yeah, you would say that the mind that is poised to understand emptiness is the mind that's not grasping and rejecting.
So what you get is not grasping.
Yeah, you get non-grasping.
Non-grasping, that is good enough to be understanding of emptiness.
Well, it would help. Like, I mean, you know, when you're talking about the yogic realization of emptiness, it comes from the experience of what happens when you can bear the kind of natural vitality of the mind without shutting down or, you know, pushing it away or making it a thing. You know, so we're always trying to make everything a thing. We try to make emptiness a thing, and we try to make all our experiences in meditation. There's so much wanting and not wanting. That's because we don't understand the nature of the object. So when the subjective mind doesn't grasp and reject, like that's the mind that's kind of poised to see the nature of
But it's not a perception. That's understanding.
It's not a perception.
It's an understanding.
It's an understanding. Sorry, yeah.
So emptiness, you say, is understanding more than perception.
Wisdom is understanding the nature of the emptiness. So that's the jnana or the prajna.
Wisdom?
Wisdom, like prajna or accurate seeing, sees, it's like the jnana could be the subject and the dharmata could be the object. If you want to make it so that dualistic mind has something to grasp onto. Which sometimes helps when you're talking conceptually.
But still pillar is there.
Still the way?
Pillow is still there.
Yeah.
When you realize emptiness, the pillar will be pillar.
Well, it's not there intrinsically from its own side, but it's experienced. So that's why, can I quote Shanti Deva? Then I'll feel a little safer. Shanti Deva says, you know, no, we're not refuting the experience. We're just refuting the idea that it's intrinsic.
Right.
The mind's tendency to reify is what's being interrupted with these teachings.
So that when you understood like that, then it means you understand the nature of the pillar.
Yeah.
Which is emptiness.
Yeah, empty.
But emptiness is become understanding of the pillar, real pillar, but cannot visualized, cannot conceptualized emptiness, except deep understanding is emptiness, or there's something else you have.
Something
I'm
other
finding
than
this difficulty. You know, when you meditate on emptiness, what do you meditate? Meditate the understanding, or meditate the pillar itself, or you meditate some spacious openness, or the deep understanding of reification. Only for me is the simplicity. When the mind becomes simplicity with the pillar, other than that, I cannot see emptiness.
Yeah, because you're making emptiness a thing in that case.
Yeah.
So to make it a thing is missing the point, and to think that emptiness in and of itself is a truth is a big problem.
Right. So when I should be happy?
When should you be happy?
Yeah.
When you're
about emptiness. Oh, that's it.
When delusion starts to fall apart. When you stop reifying.
Which delusion? The pillar or the misunderstanding about the pillar?
Yeah, it could be both, really.
That's the problem. then they don't feel safe.
They don't feel safe?
Because
they might fall down. But, but to say something doesn't have an intrinsic existence doesn't mean it doesn't have functionality. Like, no matter how much you analyze or do analytical meditation. Actually, I looked up that term, Rinpoche, and it means in Greek, analytical means to set free, to set loose, to loosen up. So we're loosening out of kind of conceptual ideas we have about how things are into a more direct relationship with reality. So the fact that things arise interdependently, you could never stop that. It's powerful. Seed and fruit is always going to happen.
Whenever I told my student, misconception about pillar will go away. And one day pillar might go away. Oh.
Yeah, that's a big misunderstanding.
Yeah. So you think pillar will never go away?
At some point, the pillar will go away. But I mean, you're not. It's not. This is the problem with dualistic thinking. Either it has to be there or not. Oh. But that's why they say it's like a rainbow. Like in Crestone, we have in the summer, not this year, but we have rainbows come.
Right.
And then people like sometimes think, the rainbow was over my temple. But you can never find a rainbow. If you look for a rainbow, you can't find it. But it's very vivid too. So functionally, things are happening. It's the power of the nature itself that things happen. And things can only happen because of emptiness. If things were not empty, they'd be inert and stuck. And there'd be no, we couldn't have experience of anything. So, does that mean, is that?
It makes sense, but another one is, the coming should have a cause or no? The cause is only the emptiness, or it has its own origin or origin?
The cause when we look, we can't really find a singular cause. There's no singular cause. It's a magical display. If you look too carefully, you won't find a cause. But relatively, things appear to have a cause, a mere cause, as you would say.
Random.
Not random, but not also. Here
not
again,
random.
you don't want to get you get caught in the two extremes. Either it has to be random, or it has to be, designed that way. But it's neither one.
But we still can put a law of causality on that, although it's no cause.
Yeah, because we need to watch our actions very carefully because everything leans. So, that's another misunderstanding, is that you could do whatever you want because it's empty. But in fact, the more you understand that everything leans, the more you realize everything you do matters very much.
So we should lean forever?
We can't help it, Rinpoche.
So there's no way to be free from leaning?
But leaning is not a problem. But when you try to hold something to be intrinsic and static like the self, and you contract, and you will never be separate from the nature of infinite contingency, but we can live in a constant state of contraction.
So that's called enlightenment.
Stress.
So causality go up to what?
Causality goes
up to?
It goes to...
Up to which you become enlightened, then the leaning still go up to there was some point the leaning also not there.
That's an interesting question. I think, in fact, in a certain sense, leaning is part of the nature. When you try to separate emptiness and because there's still appearances, but the nature is empty. When you looked, like Punlap Rinpoche said, if you don't want things to be empty, then don't examine. If you want things to be real, don't examine. But once you examine, you can never find where one thing starts and another stops.
But you still can find perception. And when the perception change, understanding can change.
When does the understanding change?
No, understanding can change. My understanding changed about the pillar. But the pillar is not changing.
Because it was empty always.
The form of pillar is not changing. The understanding about the pillar, I understood.
Yeah.
But the form, you think the form will stay like this? Or
Well, I mean,
form will change?
Well, forms
depend on
eventually change. According to science, even. Things are
Okay.
changing all the time. I guess.
It changed. So, okay. So, what about enlightened perception? Enlightened perception, how the lot of people have misunderstanding about enlightened perception.
So what? Okay. I'll say one thing. So according the Buddha, they say have these two kinds of wisdom: the wisdom of seeing like the multiplicity of things. So that's talking about relationships, but also the way things are, which is that they're empty. So
I'm not over the empty part. I'm worried about the perception part, the way things appear.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that will change. Well, there's
That will
then
change?
there's a lot of debate about this. I'm scared.
So we have this problem. They're very happy.
I see.
Form is empty. They're very happy. But then when one maybe this is karma. It's dream-like. So they don't want to change this dream. Or they want another dream.
Yes.
They want another dream. So there's like a little fear of losing this. But I'm not saying also it's okay to lose. Or, so how you can make their mind easy?
That's a big responsibility for. Well,
Bena nawan di yoshin tu demere tongbare san kalemido. Nawa thiang nawa ip zopta khroyang ane ko di lenyo na che bayin tu le se tu nawa ge chokse khroyang ip diang ane setugre slaunan konso petak tu.
It's like we can get comfortable with the fact that, okay, the appearance itself is dependently originated. It's empty. That's one thing that we can maybe get comfortable with. But it leaves the question then, but the very appearance itself, the way it appears, its shape, its color, its form, it's also taught that that's a result of karma and klesha.
so when
it
that
appears that way.
that's what she's asking. When that
Will the
Yeah.
form and the shape
Yeah.
They
ever
fear.
end?
Then what is my perception? Little bit like.
so we're moving in the realm more of pure appearance.
Is there pure?
I think there is a pure appearance.
Okay. So now this is okay. Okay, can you elaborate a little bit? Like this misunderstanding, like no need to afraid of vanishing this. If vanish, vanish, yeah. For me, if vanish, vanish. Not vanish, not vanish. But they don't want to vanish.
So there's some clinging to appearances.
Yeah. So is there any good logic? Because these people are logical person.
Yeah.
They want some logic to release unlogic misunderstanding.
Okay, so what to say about not clinging to appearances?
Yeah. Although the parents, although the parents change in their mind, because they feel afraid of nihilism.
But I don't think.
Because many teaching is we respect the relative truth, but we destroy the reification. But in their feeling, yeah, the pillow is fine, the reify is not fine. But my question is, that pillow is also fine?
That the pillar is also fine.
Fine or not fine?
It feels like a trick question or something.
No.
Is the pillar fine?
No.
To experience the pillar?
The shape of the pillow.
What am I making?
When karma exhausts or when it's purified, does everything need to remain? Is it okay if it doesn't? The pillar stops appearing. Is that a problem?
is it okay if the pillar stops appearing?
Yeah.
It's like once you reach enlightenment,
Yeah.
will you still see that the way it is?
Oh, yeah, maybe, but what is the way it is? I don't know. Like, is it, the way, even in a moment of practice, things seem different when, just for we ordinary people. But it's not like the pillar disappears.
Right. Right now, yes.
But there is some disillusion at some stage that you hear about that happens. But I wouldn't be the one, like, to speak out about that.
Yeah. Mike. We are debating Madhyamika Pandita here.
In terms of the Madhyamaka view, from Ziga Khantrul Rinpoche, we're studying Madhyamaka. He would say that Chandrakirti is pointing out that on the 11th bhumi, so a Buddha, it's no longer a 10th bhumi Buddha, but a Buddha doesn't see themselves. The issue is no longer, as you go further into the realizations, it's no longer reification, it's separation. And so at the 11th bhumi, the Buddha doesn't see himself as separate from anything. He's just part of nature. You see him as a Buddha. And so that would be the same. We could just imagine that without separation, then there's no longer anything separate. And so that would be, I think, the direction of the realization. Would you agree that that's...
Yeah, that makes sense because, yeah, that is reification. No, go ahead, Nick.
I just wanted to add, we're always looking at reification, but at that level we're looking at separation. It's all part of the web. And then here, the pole is part of the web. There's no separate, even though you're the Lama and we're the student, there's really, at a certain level, we're all just... It's just complete, total
But you don't say we're all the same, because that doesn't work either.
I didn't mean we're not as good as you, but I mean there's no longer anything separate, and that's all. And that takes the place of the interest in reification. It's all one interconnected unity. Okay, there's not one, it's not two. Okay.
May I ask one very simple question?
Oh, I see. Okay.
We have a lot of this talk at the beginning.
Okay. See, I'm really at a disadvantage, but you know, in the Vajrayana we have pure perception, so we. I don't know if you're trying to make that bridge, Rinpoche. Anyway.
No, I know all of that, but it's a simple way of that. A simple language, simple understanding, like what you're doing like this. Is relational, we understood very well. Dependent, we understood very well.
Yeah.
But still there's something to measure, long or short, it still exists. So how that exists or not exists? This is my question.
Yeah, maybe I'm kind of seeing what you're saying, maybe. Like, when I do this, what I come to is, you know, we tend to think of things in a one-dimensional way. So when you look at something and you see that it all depends, if you really look deeply in this way, you find that it's open-dimensional. It's not what, like Herbert Gunther translated emptiness as, did you know that? Open-dimensional, which I think is a very deep phrase because it means that the object doesn't lend itself to being known in any kind of determinate way. So it's fathomless. It's not, the mind can't grasp it, that it's beyond our ability to label, which requires us to kind of bear the rich energy of the nature. Like when they talk about the mute tasting sugar, like you become overcome by the beauty that you can't shut down around it. Is that what you're talking about, Rinpoche at all? Because I think that's where this goes to me, for me personally, is that you can't say anything. You have to remain
Speechless.
Completely speechless, because that's the state of simplicity and non-reification, is that you're amazed by what you see.
Right.
And that's a hard place to bear. That's why we always shut down around it and make things is or is not, or make everything a thing.
Okay.
Is that kind of what you're talking
No,
about?
I
Rinpoche?
understood like that, you know.
Yeah.
So always there's different way of explaining.
Yeah.
I have my own theory of understanding about emptiness.
Yeah.
I'm sharing with them. So I don't know whether it's language-wise it's going correct or not. I don't mind try very hard. At the first few days, well, everyone is
Yeah.
chopped up everything, you know. Madhyamika, a little bit here.
Yeah.
At the beginning,
Yeah,
a lot.
analytical
Like
meditations.
Analytical vipassana view trying to establish.
Yeah.
So, because I'm not expert of vipassana, no, Madhyamika, and the culture barrier. So, okay.
One question. Is the nature of mind unconditioned?
It's not a thing. If you make it a thing, it's conditioned.
Is the nature of mind leaning? Does it lean? Does it require something else?
Well, in a way, everything is leaning. You know,
Well,
when
I'm
you
asking
talk
about-
about
I'm asking about
perception,
Rigpa.
but you're talking about the Rigpa, then
Yeah.
that would be uncompounded, or it's not a thing. So, therefore, you wouldn't say it leans because it's
It's
not
not
a
conditioned.
thing. But it's not. Of course, it's not
Can you
conditioned.
experience the nature of mind?
Yeah, if you don't grasp at the objects, if you don't reify it, then you experience it.
And is what you're experiencing conditioned?
No, because it's not a thing.
So not everything leans. I mean, look, we're limited by language.
Yeah, it's
We can't-
always limited by language. That's why this
right,
is so
but
hard.
there is
Yeah.
something that's not leaning.
There's something
that's
that's
what we
not
call Rigpa.
leaning. It's just when we
Right.
talk about it, we make it a thing, so it's
Right.
hard.
'Cause I mean, look, it just seems to me that a lot of what we're talking about in Madhyamaka is relative. And I mean, I think relatively everything is leaning. But I think when you get close to Rigpa, it breaks down.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and with Madhyamaka, all you're doing is looking and not finding. That's all you're doing. That's what analysis is. You're looking for a thing, and you're not finding a thing. You're not finding singular things, meaning things that are, everything, as long as it's a thing, it's made of parts. It can be broken down. You're not finding a permanent thing. Actually, you couldn't even find an impermanent thing, because what is that thing that keeps changing? And then you can't find anything that exists outside the nature of causes and conditions, so you can't find an independent thing. So what Madhyamaka is about is it's looking for singular, permanent, and independent things and not finding them. And that's what the analysis is.
Good.
Timdil pa tungil pawro le lo yoro. Ine tungni so timdil chaya dil. Churang ki kalasna dirjiro kana chaya.
Question was, we can resolve that interdependence. Hold on. Sharing is leaning. Tukula's question was, we can resolve that interdependence leads into emptiness. Mm-hmm. But it's also taught that emptiness yields interdependence.
Yeah.
So how would you explain that, or could you please explain that?
Yeah. So if things weren't empty, nothing could arise because they'd be inert. They wouldn't be in relationship. It's because everything is leaning that everything's moving and things are dynamic and don't lend themselves to being known in any kind of fixed way. So it's both. This is like what Rinpoche was saying, about the equation. Emptiness and appearance are not two separate things. If you look into the nature of any so-called thing, you can't find it. And when we say can't find, it doesn't mean you don't experience it. It means you can't find a singular, permanent, and intrinsic, independent thing. And so things can arise because they're empty, And they're empty because they're leaning. And you can't even find like where you end and the world begins. There's no, everything is made of relationship in a certain kind of way.
So,
So-
sorry.
Go ahead.
Can we say that in Madhyamika point of view, there's always empty and nawa, yeah. Nawa and empty is always interdependent. Nawa and emptiness interdependent. They're leaning each other.
Yeah.
But emptiness cannot exist without nawa. Can we say that? Emptiness without appearance. Because otherwise, how you call empty or what?
Right, yeah.
Nothing. Because based on something, then you call empty. So the appearance, always some appearance from here until enlightenment. But appearance change because of other conditions. But there must be an appearance. Can we say that? Because it's empty. Is that too strong statement?
Yeah, I think that's correct, Rimshay. That's what Asanga said, from form to omniscience.
Yeah, but there's something there.
Yeah, I guess that's a way to, it's a kind of a problematic way of wording it, because there's a thing, but when you look into this thing, if you examine it, you won't find anything there.
Yeah.
That's, again, I want to say singular, permanent, or independent. You always have to say that, or else it becomes this whole, the danger of nihilism again arises.
Well, sometimes I heard some teaching, nawa yomares,
Sometimes you hear the teaching, there's no nangwa, there's no appearance.
That is very difficult to understand for me. I'm very happy with nawa and tongpa together, but nawa change, diluted nawa and undiluted nawa. But must be nawa somewhere there. Otherwise, how can call tongpa? Because there's nothing there to call tongpa. Tapin nawa, pure nawa, impure nawa. But nawa change because of relation.
Yeah.
There must be something there. But there is not a permanent and singular, but it's a unity with emptiness. So, but some don't agree that. I don't know. So, okay. Good. Thank you. So, if you need to know more, www. something. There's a book. Sunam de damje zebani domne nyeben danam bamjene jega nanchi balo dubai seben solen doan yo. Chanju samcho rinpoche maje panan je yoronje jewa nyamba me baya kone kondo bewarayo. Toni tawa rinpoche maje panan je yoronje jewa nyamba me baya kone kondo bewarayo. Choban Zemerimboje Maje Banan Jejoroje Jeva Nyamba Mebayam Gonin Gondom Bewajo Page 5. Kanre Rave Gurave Shingande Pendande Wa Malu Jumene Re Zewan Denzin Jazoye Jabe Sinte Barando Denjoroje Jagun Tuji Yishe Jigduzo Mejun Jini Jinlang Chogender Soni Jamsu Shaben Dadenso Daju Jinlong Guji Ngonjurusho Ram Yaman Kama Oma Ye Gada Redan Dawa Rewa San Doje Yodama Rezan Game Koroje Sodanje Solo Jodon Dodo Ishendo Ye Gada Redan Dalawale Nekpa San Dorje Yodama Rezan Game Koroje Sodanje Solo Jodon Dodo Ishendo Ye Gada Redan Dalawale Rewa San Dorje Yodama Rezangame Koroje Zodanje Solo Jundon Dodo Yijendo and the Thank you. I always feel the vacancy and emptiness ni cheparji doa. Ani vacancy la ko nawa me doa. Emptiness la nge ngarang samore nawa inji miji gore teng nawa chi mena emptiness vacancy doa. Then nawa de khora ranjin takba chikbo rawanchi matuba de tosa de nawa chela tone en tomong ngo share ma do nawa san mingi tongba yongsik mare thing do te kan na mo just my mind.
I think often think that it's important to make a distinction between emptiness and vacancy. Vacancy is a concept that nothing appears, of nothingness, nothing happens.
There's a vacancy. Now I'm a vacancy.
It's like a vacancy where there's no appearance, nothing is appearing. I think that needs to be distinguished from emptiness. Emptiness is the lack of a singular, permanent, independent thing.
But now
But there's always appearance happening.
So this is my thing. Nga appearance yogore tengore.
Nangwa yogore.
No yogore tengore. Now mena tongba sha thu me du san.
So Rinpoche says, in my opinion, there always needs to be nangwa. There needs to be experience or appearance by which we resolve its emptiness. If there's nothing appearing, if there's no nangwa, we can't talk about emptiness. Because emptiness is the absence of permanent, singular, independent thing. So if there's no nangwa, what is lacking the permanence, the independence, and the singularity? There's no basis.
So, nawa de chen chagre te no ran damra lege wang relational tabe nawa madabe nawa nawa san mengi chi ta khande na te no kashi nawa yo mare sunge yo ro.
No, so I think that there's always nangwa, and that over the course of time and practice, nangwa changes because karma changes, and there's pure nangwa and impure nangwa, and different experiences unfold, but there's always some kind of experience happening. Occasionally you hear a teaching that says there's somebody who has no experience at all, but this doesn't really make any sense to me.
I cannot understand so far. So I asked this question many different ways. I think, but Nagarjuna is so afraid if there's something there, Nagarjuna, the Dendup Chagre is an almost nihilist of Lavshare.
It seems like Nagarjuna is so afraid that if there's any appearance happening, that we're going to reify it right away, that he's attacks it in a way that almost gets us to nihilism.
Almost the appearance they may was rojik though.
It's almost like he wants to destroy appearances, make them vanish.
Because
then there's always the danger that the Atma, the self, this Hindu concept will creep in.
So Nagarjuna has a banana from Hindu. Because Hindu is very good also. Excellent, right? So you want to make a little different from Hindu. 강라 땐 가요.
텐칭 좋아 좀.
강라 땐진 될 좀. 지땐 댄서지 면에다 동바시 lap톱에 갈고 하면 돼. 왜? 랑시된 동바된 룹 차로도. 알았으면 강라 마데 뭐 동바지오나? 동바 이제 몇 거래, 땡도. 강라 땡 거는 나와 땡 거래. 나와 가른 나와라서는 나와 거 잠을 나와. 나와지 요거래. 땡 거는 알았으면. 이제 나와 내 룹 차고 말해 땡 거래.
So there's a quote that starts, whatever is dependently arisen, whatever is interdependently appearing, and so forth, that itself is empty, and so on. So it's my opinion that there always needs to be something appearing. If we try to find some kind of emptiness apart from interdependence, then we're creating a permanent, reified concept of emptiness. For emptiness to happen, there always needs to be some interdependence. Interdependence on what? Nangwa. On some kind of appearance. To look for a state in which there's nothing appears, I don't understand how that's possible. But Nangwa changes because of interdependence, and purifying and not purifying and so on. So there's all different kinds of Nangwa, or appearances, but there's always some.
Have to have Nawa. From my understanding, I don't know if she agree or not, but I'm not asking you now, in general. I'm just sharing my suffering. That's why the Trugo asked when the Longjung Kariyong is Longjung Nawa Salva Yorota. Salva. The Savala Denta, young Marikba Wangi. In a Yish Savage Dua, Tombajama Mayimbachi, Salva Yoro, Salvi Nawa Yoro.
This just touches back to Tukula's question about interdependence emerging from emptiness. And there's some
basic Nawa Yoro, emptiness.
There's some basic appearances happening. Like the beginning of the 12 links that unfold is said to be marikpa, or ignorance. It's not like nothingness. There's some.
But this same such a
and Rigpa and
Marikpa.
Marikpa, ignorance has a basis in the clarity of the mind, not just nothingness.
Clarity 나와지면은 동바동자인데 vacancy로.
If there's no clarity in the mind at all as a basis for ignorance, then there would be like a empty vacantness. There would be a nothingness.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Made me laugh.